Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Suratun Nazi'at. Al-Nazi'at, those who yearn, and remember the gender-neutral pronouns, the qualitative plural, as to not form misunderstandings regarding that. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, by those yearning vehemently, and those going forth cheerfully, and those running swiftly, and those that are foremost going ahead, and those regulating the affair, the day when the quaking one shall quake, the consequence will follow it, hearts that day will palpitate, their eyes downcast, they say, shall we indeed be restored to our first state? What, after we are rotten bones? They say, that would then be a return with loss. It is only a single cry. When, lo, they will be awakened. Has not there come to thee the story of Moses, when his Lord called him in the holy valley? Go to Pharaoh, surely he has rebelled, and say, wilt thou purify thyself, and I will guide thee to thy Lord, so that thou fear. So he showed him the mighty sign, but he denied and disobeyed. Then he went back hastily, so he gathered and called out. Then he said, I am your Lord the Most High. So Allah seized him with the punishment of the hereafter and of this life. Surely there is in this a lesson for him who fears. Are you the stronger in creation? Are the heaven? He made it. He raised high its height and made it perfect. And he made dark its night and brought out its light, and the earth he cast it after that. He brought forth from it its water and its pasture, and the mountains he made them firm, a provision for you and for your cattle. So when the great calamity comes, the day when man remembers all that he strove for, and hell is made manifest to him who sees, then as for him who is inordinate and prefers the life of this world, hell is surely the abode. And as for him who fears to stand before his Lord, and restrains himself from his low desires, the garden is surely the abode. They ask thee about the hour, when will that take place, about which thou remindest? To thy Lord is the goal of it, and thou art only a warner to him who fears it. On the day when they see it, it will be as if they had but tarried for an evening or a morning. And the angels of death, in India, are called the Vishnu Dattas and the Yamadattas. The Vishnu Dattas take to preserve and give it a good state in the afterlife. The Yamadattas come to punish. But just like life, well, a lot of life. Anyways, the afterlife, as far as you believe and do good deeds, you're take the pass over to the next life. As far as the soul part of it, whatever happens to the body is not necessarily the sign per se, but for the soul, it doesn't want to, if it doesn't have the right belief or knows that it had bad actions, and it's kind of, it's holding on to this body and it doesn't want to leave. But those, it's like, oh, it's the best thing ever for me. Not that we, try to shorten our lives if we've been good people, but it's when that comes, it's ease. And the speed of it, ease. Just like if you become equiposed, it's like you're in a vehicle. But the whirling, you know, it could be a vehicle that spins, and it's like you're staying still. It could have a wheel or whatever. It's like from your perception, it slows down. And you're not worried about rising or falling or whatever. You're just, you know, in for the ride. Some people will use the language here to refer to the, you know, as in some of this to refer to the black holes. The valley Puwa is wa ya ga wow ya. These same letters mean the two lands, Dart, Kutsmit. And what does Dart and Kutsmit mean? Dart, the black land, Kutsmit, the red land. So, Egypt. The two land, you know, Egypt as we know it. And of course, you know, Pharaoh. So it's interesting that that piece of information is, you got to admit, it's at least passed on, if not restored, via Qur'an. And just as I mentioned, just as we brought up the idea of the passage to the afterlife, obviously the belief in deeds, you know, the bridge of the afterlife, Sirat al-Mustaqim versus, you know, widening and your speed slows down, or it's narrows and your speed, your speed slows down, or you can, you know, like a tongue through warm milk, and thus the afterlife itself, not just the passage to it and the judgment day passing over. It's different for those who believe and act differently. And of course, this is based on the circumstances, the difficulty, the actual conditions involved play a role in the judgment too. The influence of a deed plays a role in the judgment. Nothing is unjust, nothing is ignored.